Welcome to Bible Story Treasures, where the timeless stories of faith come to life. Today we travel back to a world filled with chaos and corruption, where one man's obedience to God became the key to humanity's survival. Discover the incredible story of Noah, a faithful servant who built an ark to weather the greatest flood in history. Join us as we explore this powerful tale of faith, perseverance, and God's promise for a better tomorrow. Let's begin the story of Noah's Ark and the Great Flood. Once upon a time, in the earliest days of human history, the world was a breathtaking place. Nature thrived in its untouched beauty. Rivers flowed endlessly, the sun shone brightly, and the stars lit up the night sky like diamonds. It was a masterpiece of harmony and balance created by God Himself. But as the years passed, something heartbreaking began to happen. Humanity, who had been entrusted to care for this creation, turned away from the Creator. The people became consumed with greed, violence, and selfishness. Instead of working together, they fought. Instead of sharing, they hoarded. The earth, once so full of peace, became a place of pain. God, who watched over all of this, was deeply saddened. Imagine creating something beautiful and seeing it ruined. His heart was heavy as he saw the corruption spreading across the earth. But even in the darkest times, there was one glimmer of hope. A man named Noah. Noah wasn't perfect. No one is. But Noah was faithful. He loved God and tried to live a good life. He treated others with kindness and did what was right, even when the world around him had lost its way. One day, everything changed. God spoke to Noah. Can you imagine that moment? Imagine hearing the Creator's voice calling your name, Noah. The world is filled with violence and corruption. I can no longer allow it to continue. I will send a great flood to cleanse the earth. But you, Noah, I have found righteous. I will make a way to save you, your family, and the creatures of the earth. Build an ark, a great boat. Make it large enough to hold your family and 2 of every kind of animal. I will guide you. This wasn't just any project. Building an ark was a monumental task. Imagine being told to build a boat longer than a football field and taller than a 3-story building, all without the tools and technology we have today. It must have seemed impossible, but Noah didn't hesitate. He trusted God completely. Day after day, Noah and his sons worked tirelessly. His wife and daughters-in-law supported them, bringing food, tending to the animals, and helping wherever they could. It was a family effort bound together by faith. But not everyone supported Noah. His neighbors thought he was crazy. Why are you building a boat here, Noah? There's no water for miles. What flood? The skies are clear, old man. They laughed, mocked, and ridiculed him. Noah could have given up. The criticism could have crushed him, but he didn't. He kept going because he trusted God's plan, even when no one else did. And then something extraordinary happened. Animals began arriving, 2 by 2, just as God had said. Elephants lumbered in side by side, birds filled the skies, and tiny insects crawled across the ground. Lions and lambs walked calmly together. It was as if they knew they were part of something bigger. Can you picture the scene? The noise of hooves, wings, and paws, the air buzzing with life. Each animal had a place, and Noah's family worked tirelessly to ensure they were cared for. Finally, the day came. God spoke to Noah once more. Enter the ark, you and your family, for in 7 days I will send rain upon the earth, and it will last for 40 days and 40 nights. As the door of the ark shut, the skies opened. At first it was just a light drizzle, but soon the heavens unleashed their fury. Rain poured down in torrents, and the ground erupted with water. Streams turned into raging rivers, and rivers overflowed into valleys. The earth was being cleansed. The flood covered everything: mountains, valleys, forests, and cities. It was a time of judgment, but also a time of renewal. Inside the ark, it wasn't easy. Can you imagine being in a boat for months, surrounded by animals, hearing the roar of the storm outside? It was dark, damp, and noisy. But Noah's family held on to hope. They trusted that God would keep his promise to protect them. And then, after 40 days and 40 nights, the rain stopped. Slowly, the floodwaters began to recede. The ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. But Noah didn't rush out. He waited patiently, trusting God's timing. To see if the earth was dry, Noah sent out a dove. The first time it returned with nothing, but the second time it brought back an olive leaf, a sign that life was beginning to grow again. On the third try, the dove didn't return at all, signaling that it had found a new home. When God told Noah it was time to leave the ark, he and his family stepped out into a world that was fresh and new. It was a second chance for humanity, a clean slate. The first thing Noah did was build an altar to thank God for his protection and mercy. He knew this wasn't the end of the story. It was a new beginning. And then, God made a beautiful promise. He placed a rainbow in the sky as a sign of his covenant. Whenever you see a rainbow, God said, remember this promise. I will never again destroy the earth with a flood. This is my covenant with you and all future generations. The story of Noah's Ark is more than just a tale of a great flood. It's a story of faith, of trusting God even when his plan doesn't make sense. It's a story of obedience, of doing what's right even when others laugh at you. And it's a story of hope, of remembering that every storm we face is followed by the promise of new beginnings. What about you? Are there storms in your life that feel overwhelming? Remember, just like Noah, you're never alone. Trust that there is a plan, even if you can't see it yet. Noah's story reminds us of the power of faith, obedience, and God's promises. What lessons do you take from this incredible tale? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Bible Story Treasures for more timeless stories of faith. Together, let's spread God's word far and wide.